Wild. All right, moving right along. This week's coming soon is nice and short, mainly because we're kind of hitting that part of the season where there's a big blow of your load right up at the beginning. We got a whole bunch of stuff right before Christmas and the holidays, and we kind of rode into. I think we mentioned this last episode. We rode into Thanksgiving with a bunch of stuff for you to watch, and now this week we're kind of trickling out, and before we hit all the stuff towards the Christmas time frame. So this one I'm excited about. I know everybody else is. This is the goofiest looking picture I probably could have got for the Matrix Resolutions. There's probably so many more better images, but I was just like, man, somebody took about 15 minutes in Photoshop and just threw it together, and I was just like, dude. This looks great.
Dude, John Wick 4 looks dope.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
I can't wait.
I was like, yes, give it to
me. The only thing is, and it's, I don't know how much of it is just like Keanu being Keanu, or how much of it is like directors just being like, okay, this is the look now. It's the long hair.
I wish he would have came back with short hair.
Because he does,
he did,
and it's because he's got long hair and everything ever since.
Yeah.
Honestly, even before John Wick, right. Like he just grew his hair out and he's got the scruffy little beard.
He looks like a cage fighter.
That's just his look now, and it's just his look in everything. Because like if he came back looking like Neo from at this point 15 years ago, or like how he looked in like Man of Tai Chi, like that would be dope. It's just like a weird little thing where like I see it, I'm like, all right, that's Keanu Reeves. Got it. Okay.
I mean, it feels like they just.
How awesome is it have to be Keanu Reeves, where he's like, yeah, like they're like, yeah, so we're thinking for this movie. You would have short hair, and he's just like, nah, that's not going to work for me, dog.
He's like, I'm filming 4 other movies at the same time. I need to look the same in all of them.
Him and Nicolas Cage, they look like themselves, and
he's playing Dracula.
I know. They just show up. They show up on set. They're like, this is me. This is me. I've read the scripts. Keanu Reeves, or Nicolas Cage will perform what I read in the script as myself.
Right. I think my
you
favorite.
Can call me whatever. You can call me what's in the script, but no, like when I set foot onto the lot for the Matrix Resurrections, I am not Neo. I am Keanu Reeves reciting the lines that you're gonna think of as Neo.
And it sounds like we're shitting on the movie, but we're all very excited for this movie.
I'm so hyped.
This movie looks so good.
There was an interview recently with Nicolas Cage, and they were just talking about like, hey, so who do you think is like the best actor, or like has hit the epitome of acting? And he said, I'll let you know what the epitome of acting is when I reach it. Like saying that he just sets the standard of acting. Period. Like it was so confident, and I think it was like right on the
confidence in oneself.
Like it was right on the heels of like him doing that movie Pig, which if you haven't watched it, fantastic movie. He does a great job. Just
awesome
being
movie.
Insane.
I just watched it.
The movie was sweet, dude. Nobody fucks harder than Nicolas Cage.
Nah. Like, well, maybe Keanu
Nobody
Reeves.
fucks more or harder than Nicolas Cage.
But just circle things back. Major Resurrections, plagued by strange memories, Neo's life takes an unexpected turn when he finds himself back inside the Matrix. I'm definitely stoked about this movie. I think we all just mentioned already. So there's a lot of parallels, which the recent little like 1 minute trailer teaser where you hear the deja vu usually means they've changed something, and when they do those crossover shots of just different characters doing the same exact motions and like the attention to detail there, that I could probably watch like 60 minutes of just them doing that over and over, like side by side.
You're about to.
My only fear though is this going to turn into what 2018's Halloween was, where it's just like an hour and a half or an hour and 45 minutes of just fan service to people that remember the originals? Or is this actually going to be like a movie?
I think it'll be 50-50. It's got to be 50-50, right?
The one thing that I've really appreciated about, I guess, the simulcast for streaming services while movies are in theaters is it gives me the opportunity to like watch it at home and then be like, all right, I need to now go see this like full screen, full audio, full everything, and see like the.
That happened to me with Dune. I was like,
True.
very much like, do I want to go see this in theaters? And then I watched it, and I was like, fuck, I gotta go see this in theaters.
Yeah.
And I had the opposite reaction with No Time to Die, the James Bond movie. I just watched that. I fucking paid to rent that, and I was like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't go see this. It's like almost 3 fucking hours long.
It's so
I mean,
long.
It could have been worse. So when we did the new Halloween for Terra Incognito, I watched it at home first, and
On Peacock.
then I was just like, shit. I was like, God damn it! Now I have to go see this in theaters. Really didn't want to.
It's really bad.
It's really bad, and I had to watch it. I had to pay for it the second time.
I only love the movie because any character's name has a last name Hawkins, like the deputy Frank Hawkins. I'm like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Like that's just
Yeah,
you don't
I mean,
have to
Ernie
really
loves
do a lot.
his name. I
Dude,
love
I
it so
love
much.
my name. I love my name.
And as awesome as that Deja Vu trailer is, it gives me a little bit of that, like, sitting on edge. Like, my spidey sense is tingling a little bit. Like, is this really just going to be a 2-hour fan service movie with, like, some cool cinematography? Or is this actually going to drive the story forward?
Well, let me ask you this: how many?
There's no fucking way it's driving the story forward.
Do you guys still have like YouTube TV or any like services like that where you get commercials?
Yeah, I've got Hulu TV. There's one or two things that we have that we still get.
But there are ads, right? So like my question is, how many ads?
I
have
think
you
it's
seen
actually Hulu TV. I
for-
think it's just like the NFL. I think it's whenever we're watching football, we see ads.
Like how often are you seeing ads for this movie though? Even like on your like YouTube ads and that kind of stuff. I'm not seeing a lot, which is usually my indicator that it's going to be a great movie. Like
So I've got a
it's
lot of
such
ad blockers running.
You're not. It can't. I
So
can't gauge.
I've got a
based on
lot of
that.
ad blockers running, so I can't I don't see anything on like if I'm on my computer or I'm on my phone, I can't even an ad can't even run on my device. The only time I've seen commercials for this is when we're watching football, and I have seen commercials the last 2 weekends, maybe 3 weekends.
See, that's not bad. About a month out, I'll give you a month out. But if it is like 3 months out, like I didn't see a lot. If I'm being honest, I didn't see a lot of ads for Shang-Chi, which it ended up being a banger, and it was a huge
poorly
movie, right?
marketed that movie.
It's the same thing with like Apple TV and some of their big ones. I mean, granted, Apple TV, they don't really have to do a lot. If you have Apple TV, you're just going to see it. But like Foundation, there was no ads for that. That was a banger of a show, season 1. But so I kind of gauge it on that.
I heard that. Yeah, I've got Apple TV. I heard about that show after the fact. I've never heard anything about it leading up to it.
It's so like my growing up, my perfect example was that first Hulk movie with Eric Bana. That shit was everywhere. Burger King, 7-Eleven, anything that was owned by Pepsi.
I still got a 7-Eleven cup with that Hulk on it.
It was everywhere. And what happened? That thing was a flop. I mean, it was
So was Spider-Man
massively
3.
bad.
See, I think you might be onto
Exactly.
something.
I'm telling you.
Well, I mean, there's a certain moment where at a certain time you're just doing it for like the tie-ins for the merchandising.
True.
Merchandising.
And nothing plays better to merchandising than superhero stuff.
Very true. And speaking of
Or Pokemon.
merchandising, we're going to talk about 2 particular ads and another thing coming up in the new releases topic. Hopefully remember that. But yeah, hopefully Matrix Resurrections doesn't leave us all, wanting more, but it kind of wraps up the story. But I foresee a little bit of like, let's try to squeeze this cash cow a little bit further. We got 4 John Wicks.
Sure.
I'm
This
sure
ain't
we're
the
going to
last
get
one.
a 5th one,
No.
so it's going to happen. But
I don't think
moving-
you bring a franchise like this back from the dead and say we're only doing one more.
yeah, not at
Has
all.
that ever happened?
Bill and Ted?
I don't.
Yeah, Bill and Ted.
Yeah, Bill and Ted. They did.
Lethal
that,
Weapon
yeah.
did it. Lethal Weapon 4 came out like 10 years after Lethal Weapon 3, and that was the last
I
one.
think they're about to do another Lethal Weapon though,
Oh, jeez.
and they also did the TV show
Which is not great.
with Damon Wayans Jr.
Oh, I forgot about that.